Yinlin, considered to be the little sister of Class 1B. You could be brutal during fights, yet act all childlike anywhere else. With this description, no one would expect your boyfriend to be none other than Katsuki Bakugou. Katsuki Bakugou was the most dangerous kid in Class 1A, probably even the school. He considered everyone but himself and his friends, although he won't admit it, extras. Not to forget, he was brutal all the time, on or off the battlefield. So, how did two polar opposites end up together? Well, unlike Bakugou, his somewhat friends were nice to other people. Mina started talking to you after the sports festival, and you two quickly became friends despite you being in 1B. Then you started sitting with her and the others at lunch. The rest played out as one would expect. Bakugou gained interest in you. You two talked, became friends, and he quickly asked you out, pursued by Kirishima, Kaminari, and Sero. Currently, you two had been dating for 2 months. A week ago, Bakugou had been severely injured during the 1A exam, so your class has a similar exam, but he apparently fought All Might. He had pretty bad injuries, and you were quickly still shaken up about it. Shook. Hey, you're coming with me. Bakugou had come up to you one day after school. You had just been walking with some of your friends from 1B. When he sort of just grabbed you and started walking away. Bye guys, see you on Monday, you called out to your friends and began catching up to Bakugou's pace. He was dragging you with him a bit. Katsu, don't drag me all the way like that, you whined. Don't call me that so loudly. We're going to my house. You promised, remember? He growled, letting you go. Yeah, I remember, but I don't have any of my stuff, you said. What shit do you need? He stopped turning towards you. Like clothes and a toothbrush, stuff like that, you said, a bit nervous at his harsh gaze. You can borrow my clothes. I have a shit ton of extra toothbrushes. The fuckers break so easily, he said, continuing to walk towards his house. Fine, you stuttered, following him again. You blushed, thinking how you didn't mind wearing Bakugou's clothes. Bakugou had gone ahead of you when he reached his house. You didn't think he'd live in the suburban area. His house was huge, too. Whoa, you mumbled. Hey, hurry up, he yelled. You jumped in surprise and followed him. Where the hickory deck does his parents work that he lives in such a nice place? You thought, following him. He soon took off his shoes, then quickly walked towards a staircase. You took off your shoes and quickly followed him. You were looking around his house, a bit in awe. Why are you looking around like that? Have you never seen a house? He jokes. Your house is so big. This whole floor is like bigger than my entire apartment, you said. Come on, my room is upstairs. His ears turned red, and he looked away. He was blushing and clearly didn't want you to see. You giggled and followed him upstairs to one of the many rooms. You once again looked around, insisted in nearly every room there was, but it clearly annoyed Bakugou having to wait for you any longer, so you ignored your curiosity to continue following him. Your room's so nice, you smiled. Whatever. He huffed, laying down on his bed, you soon nervously not knowing what to do. Get over here, he demanded, looking towards you. I don't get these numbers. You walked 666 towards the bed, unsure of what he wanted. Bakugou reached his arms out and pulled you down next to him. You squealed in surprise, making Bakugou laugh a bit. You pouted as you rejected yourself comfortably. How was your day, Kat? I never got to ask. You asked? Fine. Damn boring quirk training again, he grumbled. Obviously, I saw what Sensei still thinks everyone's quirk can keep improving, but he can be a little harsh. You somewhat reassured him. I saw you and those extras out there after us, he said. Really? I saw 1A, but I was too busy trying to train, you said. He leaned closer to you, smirking. You looked hot in your hero costume. Uh, thanks. You blushed in embarrassment. Generally, you two didn't see each other during training. You had never seen his costume before. You heard the front door slam. Someone had obviously come home. Your thoughts were confirmed by Bakugou muttering, "Ugh, damn hag." Are your parents home? You asked, sitting up. Bakugou growled, sitting up with you. Katsuki, get the fuck down here! Profusely, his mother yelled down the stairs. Stop yelling, you bitch! Katsuki yelled back, startling you. Just wait here, I'll be back in a bit, he said to you. You nodded as he left and went downstairs to his mom. And sorry if that was loud, I didn't mean to. Do they always talk like that? I hope Bakugou's all right. He doesn't seem to have a good relationship with his mom, you thought, sitting awkwardly on the bed. You decided to finally check your phone. Since you hadn't done since lunch, you heard faint yelling from downstairs and a crashing sound. You were much more now worried than something was going wrong. After the second time there was a faint yelling and crash, you decided to go downstairs and check. Is everything all right? You asked nervously. Katsuki, who is this? His mom asked with a lot nicer sounding voice. I'm Lin Yin, miss. You introduced yourself. Oh, nice to meet you, Lin. I'm Katsuki's mother. Call me Mitsuki. So, why are you here with my brat? She replied. We're studying. You were going to lie since you weren't sure if Katsuki wanted to talk about your relationship with his parents right just yet. She's my girlfriend. He smirked. Girlfriend? She smirked. Is he holding you hostage? Just nod your head if, she whispered to you. I can hear you, bitch, he yelled, sparks coming from his hands. No, miss, he's telling the truth, you said quietly. This mother-son relationship scared you a lot. What made you want to date this stuck-up brat anyways? His looks. If I recall, Katsuki, something familiar happened with your... She began saying, fuck off, hag. Leave us alone. We're going upstairs. Oh, and she's staying for dinner, so make enough food, bitch. He yelled, letting off a threatening spark of his hands. He put his other around your shoulders, more like a dropping it and walking back upstairs. I told you to stay up here, he said, opening his door to a room. Sorry, I was worried when I heard crashing and yelling. I thought something bad was going on, you said. But are you okay? She was really harsh, saying really harsh stuff to you, you added, looking at him with a concern. He seemed a little shocked. He dealt with his mother's harsh parenting for so long that it just became normal. I'm fine. Just forget about that ancient bitch. She says that shit all the time. He rolls his eyes. All the time? That's not okay, Katsu. You said, sounding more worried, and more worried just made him mad. But he will, I guess, be fine with you. Don't. Oh, drop it already. We're going to watch a movie till that bitch calls us down for dinner, he says, sitting down on the bed. All right, you sighed, sitting down next to him. He reached for the remote and turned on the TV across his bed. He went to the Netflix and chose. You could pick the movie. You insisted watching the movie as Bakugou slowly moved closer to you. You didn't seem to notice his very obvious movements. Bitch, how much more obvious do I need to make it for you? He huffed. He dragged from your spot to in between his legs. He placed his chin on your shoulder. You gasped at suddenly being moved since you were so focused on the movie. He wrapped his arms around your waist, mumbling, That's better. Katsu, you went, turning to look at him. What? He snapped back. You smiled. You're such a teddy bear, Katsu. You just love to cuddle. Shut it. Watch the movie. He visibly blushed. You cooed over him a bit more until he was almost a bright red. He growled, pinning you onto his bed. Much to your surprise, at this point, the movie had been completely ignored despite how interested you were in it. Don't fucking do that, or I'll shut you up myself, he said, grinning evilly. You clearly didn't understand the intention behind that, what he said, when you respond. Are you going to tape my mouth shut? You replied smugly. Idiot, do you really not know what I'm talking about? He said, a bit irritated. I thought that's what you were talking about, you asked, confused. He stared at you with harsh eyes for a moment before crashing his lips onto yours. You gasped as his tongue darted into your mouth. You kissed back as much as you knew how to and closed your eyes. He smirked, swirling his tongue with yours and moving his hands to your wrist. Katsu, you said. When he pulled away or air for a second, he went back right into the kiss, somehow managing to be more aggressive than the first time. Y'all better not be fucking dinner's ready, Mitsuki called from downstairs. You blushed and Bakugou disappointedly pulled away. I think we have another minute, he smirked, going to kiss you again. Let's just go downstairs. We can continue later. You blushed darker, embarrassed to say. He chuckled, but got off you and went downstairs for dinner. You followed closely behind him, while trying to fan off your face from how much you were blushing. Nonetheless, it wasn't a dull stay with Bakugou that night.